in the scope.
Just a reminder to everyone, the easiest free way to support us here at IBT. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy this type of content. Also, make sure you're subscribing to the channel if you're new. Here at the IBT podcast, we like to give you a refreshing take on fantasy football and NFL gambling advice. A little hint of pop culture in there for you as well. We're talking week 4 stashes, who will be week 5's main waiver wire targets. They're currently under 25% rostered on ESPN leagues. And gentlemen, I really tried to go deep in the waters once again. I really wanted to get a hold of this. I thought we had a great week last week. Steve, you called Alec Pierce, who had, once again, a really great game going until he fell off a little bit towards the end of that after getting injured. And then
when he domed himself, yeah, like that was a bit of a turning point.
I had Jeremy McNichols, and he did have a touchdown, not the usage I was looking for. Maybe it was Chris Rodriguez was the guy I should have shouted out there, but still, if you played anytime tutty on McNichols, he got through for you. Eric, who was your in the scope last week? I can't even remember.
I had my guy Isaac Tesla, who did not produce anything on the field, but saw more playing time and saw more targets, which is exactly what we were hoping for.
Well, I'm in the thick of it. I think I have the most under the radar guy that you're not going to have to spend any FAAB on. You can go get him pretty much for free whenever this week. And it is Okonkwo, tight end for the Tennessee Titans. 15.1% roster right now over on ESPN. And look, I think the Titans are worse than I could have imagined. Like, yes, I am the guy who did put a little long shot Super Bowl play on him to maybe cash out some value. I thought 250 to 1 was too long. I don't think it is. With I was watching that game against the Colts. I was in the lower screen for me. And I just thought, wow, this is a bad team. But because of that, they're always trailing. Therefore, they have the 7th highest passing rate right now in the NFL at 62%. And Chig himself, 14th in targets among the position, averaging 5 per game, the 3rd most on the team. Right now, he's pretty much just behind Ellick for that 2nd target, which we know to be a productive fantasy tight end. You usually have to get to that. Who knows, though? Maybe something happens to Calvin Ridley. Maybe he's moved down the stretch if this team continues to struggle. And right now, Chig still playing 80% snaps, has a 16% first read target share as well. Number 1 in target separation among tight ends. So he is getting separation. Based on what I've seen from Cam Ward in college when he helped Elijah Arroyo get drafted on day 2, what I've seen from him in the pros as well, he's been targeting running backs at a very low rate. And I think that was a little bit of an oversight on my part when I went out and, really drafted Tony Pollard. I think Cam likes to tuck in and run a little bit, but I think more than anything, he likes to keep his eyes downfield to find receivers and tight ends. So I think realistically that Chig should be someone that is on the radar for tight end needy leagues. Does he have tight end 1 upside? Maybe, but it's like tight end 10 to 12 probably. But I think he's probably someone out there, like once you get past the Zach Ertz and the Jawan Johnson and Dallas Goedert, so I think he's kind of in that next tier, and I think he leads them. Like, I'd rather have Chig, I think, at this point, than Brenton Strange, a guy I've been trying to make happen all off season long. So give me a little Chig Okonkwo here. And Steve, I'll throw it over to you for your in the scope target, a guy who I'm not sure if you'll have to spend FAAB on him or not, because he is becoming a bit more popular after, a big performance in week number 3, despite not a ton of production in the prior 2 weeks.
Yeah, I also love does he have tight end 1 upside? Maybe. I was like, that was sick. Way to just dodge that entirely. Luther Burden. I heard it said in the preseason, and Ben Johnson believes in this. Throw a block, get the rock. That's Ben Johnson's mentality. And Luther Burden, weirdly, is like the best blocking wide receiver on the Chicago Bears right now. Like, this man is out there, and that was not something he was great at in college, but he's out here like kind of like a torpedo. And you're seeing him get more involved and more involved. And what else you're seeing is DJ Moore's looking less involved and less involved and less involved. Like, it's not looking good for DJ Moore. Romo Dunze seems to be the guy there. Colston Loveland isn't turning into a thing right now, but Luther Burden, they're using him as a gadget player. They're getting him involved. The running game isn't what it needs to be. So I'm thinking, does Burden get into the backfield a little bit more? Does he get those slot work? Does he get some gadget plays drawn up for him every week? I can live with that. I can live with that in a Ben Johnson offense. Most offenses I can with Ben Johnson. So give me Luther Burden, just for like that. You never know when he's going to get a flea flicker for a 50-yard touchdown.
My thing is you can't predict that. And I don't want a guy who, while he had a huge game, he still only played 29% of snaps. I guess that's where I am on Burden. Like, production hasn't been there for DJ Moore, but he's still out there a ton. He's still running 90% of snaps. He's still seeing 5 to 6 targets a game, like not where we want him at, but I don't know. Like I'd rather have Zacchaeus, I think, at this point, who at least is seeing, right around 5.5 targets per game. But
I think they drafted this guy pretty high for a reason.
They did, but until they show me they're willing to play him more at 30% of snaps, I'm good.
That's why I'm a week early.
This has Marvin Mims written all over it, but maybe you are early. And Eric, you're also going to bat for another rookie down there in your hometown of Houston. What do you have?
Yeah, Woody Marks, the guy that this front office identified and went and sent out significant draft capital to move up and acquire. This has obviously been a guy who I've been putting on the radar for quite some time now, that the idea being that his opportunity will slowly emerge in this Texans offense. And we're kind of getting to that point through 3 weeks. Week number 1, 11% snap share, 27% in week number 2, 48% in week number 3. We're talking about a competitive game where he is now all of a sudden on the field about as much as Nick Chubb. So he has earned his way into a 50-50 share. The efficiency stats aren't going to blow you away. There's nothing that's going to jump off the page about his work as a ball carrier. But with these rookies, they can get on the field and they are the more explosive of the available runners. We do think that will normalize over the course of time. What's particularly interesting about him, in addition to the snap percentage walking up and up and up, his ability as a receiver out of the backfield is really starting to flash. We're talking about a guy who, granted, with limited opportunities, is seeing 23 yards per reception and 3.7 yards per route run. That is better than guys like Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Devon Achane. Obviously, that will settle in as his amount of targets continues to walk up, but he's flashing some of the upside that made him a day 2 pick that they traded up to acquire, and he's seeing the field more. I think this is exactly the type of guy that you go out and scoop up for free right now, knowing that in a week or 2 or 3, the breakout is coming.
Yeah, I mean, Dare Ogunbowale has been completely replaced in this game by Woody Marks. Woody has replaced him, so it really is looking closer to a 50-50 split. Woody Moore is that change of pace guy. He's going to get some of those receptions and targets as well. Nick Chubb seeing a little bit of that, but Nick Chubb definitely the early down thumper. He's going to get some of that goal line work. So you're getting more of the between the 20s work with Woody Marks, but I think he should absolutely be rostered. And Nick Chubb does have a history of injuries as well, so Woody Marks, I think, is someone who should certainly be on 100% of rosters right now in 12-man leagues. So really like that call out there from you, Eric. Woody Marks, make sure you guys have him circled.